Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Capri from N-Dowd. We're going to be having our interactive live session with Anissa Perry and Latisha Jones from vass.org. Do you go by VASS? VASSNC.org is your website.
Yes.
When you say what
Mhm.
your, do you say like the whole name? Maybe we should probably do the whole name. What's the whole name of your
It, the,
organization?
the, the acronym is Vass, but it stands for Victim Advocate Support Services. That's the complete name of our nonprofit.
Okay. So we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube right now. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate it. I know it was your husband's birthday yesterday, so this is a pretty emotional weekend for you, but I really do appreciate you taking this time to let people know about the resources you provide and the things that you went through personally. So I really
Hmm.
appreciate that. To start off, I met Anisha through my best friend Cece because I was trying to connect with someone to have a fashion show. She was telling me about you. It was crazy because I'm all about law of attraction, right? Is the fact that I had actually envisioned because I've never had a fashion show before. So you actually gave me a chance to have my fashion show that I've been visualizing for the longest. So I wanted to thank you for that personally in person.
You're
I don't
very
know if I
welcome.
ever
And
got to do that.
thank you for your support also. We appreciate you.
Yeah. So to start off with, let's go into where you're from, who you
Uh, well,
repping.
I'm originally from Selma, North Carolina, from Johnson County, but I now
Hmm.
reside in the Garner area.
Okay. And you, Latisha?
Well, I'm originally from Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut, and but I
Okay.
reside in Gardner, North Carolina now, and I've been here for 16 years.
Okay. So we're all fellow North Carolinians. We gonna claim
Yes,
North
yes.
Carolina today. What it is. But so the topic is surviving life after homicide. And when Anisha and I first had a conversation about her story, I was really touched and moved, and how a lot of times out of those kind of circumstances, people, it could be very extreme, like how they handle that kind of trauma, right? So I was very moved by the fact that you took that energy and created such a powerful organization that you did. So you feel comfortable going into what happened first with your husband?
Yeah,
Well, let's
sure.
talk about your husband first. He was in the military.
He was in the military, and he was home on compassionate leave. And during that time, I guess he had an altercation with a family friend, and he
Mm,
was shot in the head and in the torso twice. I
mm.
was 22 years of age, and my children were 3 years old and 2 years old at the time.
And how long were
So
you guys married?
we had been married at the time maybe like 4 years, 3, 4 years at that time.
3, 4 years. Okay.
Hmm.
And where were you when this happened?
We were in our hometown of Selma. We were in Selma when that occurred.
Hmm. Yeah. So you get the news delivered to you about your husband, and during what happened when you started realizing, you know what, there's not really that many resources for us, and your husband's in the military on top of this. So I remember, what
Hmm.
were the things that started transpiring that kind of made you realize, like, okay, what's going on here as far as assisting the victims' families?
Hmm. Well, during that time, like I said, I was told to go to this place. I was told to go to that place. And then when you go to these places for resources, the first thing you hear is that we don't do homicide. And that's kind of not
uh,
something that you really want to hear, knowing that you are grieving and that you're in your early stage of grief and you don't have anywhere to turn. And the people that ask you to turn to tell you, well, we don't do that. I'm sorry. So at that point,
right.
I was kind of on my own, trying to figure out my
Hmm.
way as a
Right,
22
right.
kid
So,
and no
Go
education.
ahead. Hmm.
what I was going to say is to follow up with that. As far as asking about the support from someone or anyone at that time, that goes into family support.
Hmm.
His family support. Did you have
Mhm.
any of that
Mhm.
once you found out that there
No.
wasn't anything as far as
Um,
homicide
mm-mm.
support?
No. So what kind
Everybody
of
was
resources
kind of
were
doing
you
their own
looking
thing.
for? Yeah. What were the resources you were looking
I
for
didn't know what,
specifically?
as far as like emotional support. Like I said, I didn't have any income. I had no job, and I was a military wife, so I didn't know what to do. And I was a young wife who didn't work. So
Right.
when you reach out to people, people are kind of, funny acting because the superstitious because of homicide. You say homicide, people go the opposite direction. They don't want to be bothered with you. They don't want you coming in their house. They don't want
Wow.
anything to do with you. So therefore, everybody was in their own feelings, everybody was doing their own thing, and I was just kind of left off to the left, trying to defend for myself, me and my kids, and that's what I did.
Right. So with that's so crazy because it's like your husband gave his, they say you give your life for your country, and then to be treated like that was insane. And then your children, was there anything for them like free therapy or anything like that?
No, no.
No.
During that time, again, there's no resources. There's limited resources now, and that's why we do what we do to raise awareness for more resources for families like us. Because I
Right.
got nothing. And I could have done this a lot better if I'd have had support from people like Latisha, my team, back then. But moving forward, we're putting things in place now for families like us, so we can support these families, so they don't have to go through what I went through by myself alone.
Yeah. And I want to talk about something else too that I didn't even realize until I talked to you was how when these murders happen, how the focus, the news, everything is on the murderer. I didn't even realize that
Yes.
until you told
Mhm.
me that. I think that's so crazy because it's so true. You don't hear anything about the names of the families or what they are going through or the progress they're making. We're following the murderer. So
People
what?
are fascinated with homicide, unfortunately,
Right.
and they forget that there are family members left behind. So when you come to the community and they say, okay, somebody died, and they think, okay, they're dead, that's it.
Mhm.
That's not how that works. Yes, they
Yeah.
are deceased, but there are family members that are left behind.
Yeah.
So they're so fascinated with how it happened, who it happened to, where it happened at, and why did they do it. They forget that the family members left behind are getting nothing except watching the
Mhm.
news, watching the offender get all this, airtime. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So for people who so like okay, I hear the news about what happened to your husband. What is the proper way for me to approach you? Um
Well,
like
it
is
depends
it
how
in
you're
a
approaching me. If you're talking to someone who's had a loss, I don't recommend that you contact them and ask them about their loss, because if they want you to know, they will talk about it with you. Other than
Okay.
that, it's
Exactly.
offensive and you're being nosy. What is your reason for
Right.
asking me about my loss? There's no reason for you
Exactly.
to ask me about my loss unless you're being
Right.
nosy. You
Right.
know,
Right.
So
you
Especially
can
the
now,
ask me how
question
I'm doing, how do I feel,
right.
how am I
Right.
coping. Why would you
Yes.
intentionally ask me about my loss?
Right.
right.
That's
Yeah.
what I want to touch on because I noticed that too when like someone posts about a homicide or something like, oh, how did it happen? Or especially people that you haven't
Yes,
even
that's the first
talked
thing
to.
I ask.
Right. Well,
And it's like
and
that's
they
not
should know that
appropriate.
what homicide means. It means what it means. You
Right.
know, I'm gonna ask like, once Capri asked you about the children, if they
Hmm.
got any, therapy and things like that. Were there any other children um as well?
Okay. So are you asking me that now, or are you waiting on
Yes.
Capri? Are we?
No,
No,
no, I was going.
I didn't know if you wanted to go into that. Well, we
Mm,
can if
Yeah, I'm
well,
open
I
to it. Yeah, we're here. We're here.
okay.
I'm open to anything. Yeah,
We
we can.
have
Yeah.
we're open.
Well, because
Okay.
you did Capri mention about the children,
Yes.
if they got any therapy, and so my thing is, I'm gonna ask, was there any other children, that was part of, your husband's life, or no children, or just your two children, because you did mention
Hmm.
two.
Mhm.
So I just threw the
Yes.
question out there.
Hmm.
Me being a friend of her, close.
Yeah.
Um, I can ask.
Letitia's the support system.
She definitely is.
Right,
She is
yeah.
a huge support system for me, her and my team. I mean, I don't know what I would do without them because this started from an idea, and I've got
Mm-hmm.
great support now. My team, um, my fiance Ken. I mean, I have a awesome support team now, and I'm
You
still
do.
healing. And when
Yeah.
you bring up things like this, it's okay because it's a part of my story, and I don't mind
Mhm.
talking about it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And to go into that, what my understanding is, it's three at the time I didn't know about. And when I heard about it, I was destroyed and I was hurt.
Mhm.
Um, I mean,
So you
how do
broke up a
you
little bit there. You
feel
said
when
there
you
was
go to your
three
husband?
other children. I'm sorry.
It was three other kids. I found out about one in
Okay.
2010, so years after
Okay.
he passed. So, I mean, how would you feel, if you're at your husband's funeral and there's women there that are pregnant making a scene? That's how I found out. And
Mhm.
I thought it was disrespectful and I thought it was very hurtful because I don't know
Right.
these people. They knew about me, but obviously I didn't know about them. So I don't think that was the time to grandstand on me when I'm in my lowest stage of life. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Now, did other people around you know? Did you find that out later?
His family knew. His family knew, but nobody told me. I
Okay.
found out the day of his funeral. That's how I found out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not
Nobody.
only, and that's what's the mind, crazy for me is that you're dealing with grieving, and then you're
Mhm.
exposed to that. So I'm quite sure at the same time there was feelings of anger, which nobody wants to
Oh,
admit. I
very. I
mean,
was
because of course,
very
I
angry.
mean he's passed, but oh yeah, he kept
Right.
something like that from you, so that's
Right.
understandable.
Right.
So,
Well,
mhm.
go ahead.
No, so what was the relationship with those women after? Was there even
There is no
any
relationship. I don't
contact?
know them.
Okay.
There
Right.
is no relationship. I've never spoken with these women.
Mhm.
I mean, the thing
Right.
about it was, how can you hate somebody you don't know? If
Mhm.
anything, I should be the angry one. I'm not angry because I've got other things going on in my life versus being angry at people. I don't know what he told these women. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not
Exactly.
going to put my anger over there because I don't know what his conversation was. My husband was a nice looking man, and
Mhm.
he was in his 20s. So
Mhm.
me looking at Anissa now versus Anissa then, I was hurt. I was devastated. But we were all in our 20s. But
Right.
older Anissa looking at, he was in his 20s. He was young. He was in his prime. I don't know what he told them women. So
Right.
I didn't hold it against them, but obviously they held it against me for some reason, and I
Mhm.
don't know why to today. And at this point, I don't care.
Yeah.
I've got other things going on. My team supports me. I'm here. If they want to have a
Mhm.
conversation with me, here I am. It's on them.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So.
sometimes I think people do stuff I think they become bothered when you're unbothered. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like they
I'm not
were
right.
bothered.
hoping probably to get more drama out of you, and the fact that you rose
I
above
have no
it,
drama.
right,
Right.
Mm-mm.
bothers them,
I've
which
got
is
Right.
so much support in my life right now with my team. Not be any happier. And while I mean, I
mhm.
don't see a reason to dwell on something that happened in the 90s. And like I
Right.
said, I don't know what he told these women and what they chose to
Mhm.
believe. And when you got two people pregnant at the same time, obviously you're not important enough that you were the main woman. You're just a side person who got pregnant. So why
Right.
would I get mad? There was two of them pregnant at the
Right.
same time, so
Right.
I'm unbothered by that. He did what he
Yeah.
did. They did what they did, knowing he had a wife. So that's their conscience they have to deal with. I mean, I'm unbothered by it.
Mhm.
I don't care.
Right.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
feel
So you
you.
want to explain how you deal with your healing process now?
Mhm.
Well, what I do now is by us doing the events in Vass, it's very healing for me. When I see family members able to overcome an obstacle and begin their process, I get to go a few steps back and go through a process I didn't get to go through. So by me assisting these families, it also assists me in steps I never got to take. Because if I hit a roadblock, I have Latisha, I have Terry, I have Jeff, I have Aunt Sue, I have Shelby. I mean, I've got my support now. So if I reach any roadblocks, because I'm human just like everybody else, and I have bad days too. and I may
Right.
call Latisha and vent to her. So
Right.
it's definitely healing for me also to be able to assist other families in their process.
Yeah, and I love that you bring that up, Letitia, because I was also going to ask. So I'm assuming you knew the man that murdered your husband because he was a family friend. It was someone that was
Yes,
close to the family.
him and
So
my husband were friends. He was dating his sister.
right. So
Yeah, so
how did you process? I mean, this is someone. It wasn't like a stranger that robbed. You know what I'm saying? Did
mhm,
you? How did you? Because I would think that would create. I don't. I can't even think. I can't even imagine that someone that's
mhm.
close. Because they do say the majority of homicides happen from someone that knows the
You're
victim.
right, absolutely.
Right. So what was your emotional state towards the murderer? Like you was like, okay, I want to see him locked up forever, or like punished, or like we're gonna return the what happened to my husband to him. Like what was your
I
feelings
was
towards
numb.
him?
I was
Mm.
numb. It was so
Mhm.
many different emotions going on, so many different stories coming, so much drama around this that I was numb. I don't remember the first 2 years after he passed. I don't remember.
Mhm. So
If
what
you ask me
happened to
today what
him?
happened, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. So what happened to him?
The guy, he only got 7 years because they pleaded him out.
7.
And when you are a young attorney or DA trying to do your career, a plea is considered a win. So we plead them out, they
Wow.
go, that's another win. So
So you
it's
didn't
not
want the
about the families,
plea.
it's about the wins.
So
I
wait.
didn't make it into the courtroom. I didn't make it into the
What?
courtroom. I didn't make it into the court. They pleaded him out and sent him home before
Wow.
I could even make it to the courtroom. Um, Families are supposed to get an impact statement. And what that is, for those who don't know, is a statement about your loved one that's deceased. All families
Mhm.
have a right to do an impact statement. I got, I did not get that. I didn't make it to the courtroom. And for my understanding is, it was 15 minutes, done. It was a plea.
Wow.
So what I thought, I didn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
So
So,
that's
and
why
you
we
didn't find
advocate
this.
now.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead. No, so the DA didn't consult with you guys ever during the whole process. Like they didn't come to you guys.
No,
Wow.
it was a plea.
Okay. And
It
that's
was a
what's
plea. They
supposed to happen, no? Or is this something
accepted the
usual or
plea. Went.
unusual?
This is very usual. This happens a lot. They'll get you in there and they say, "Oh, it's a slam dunk case. It's this and that." But then when the offender is ready to take a plea, you got to remember, I don't want to take a chance to take this to trial and lose versus take the plea and win. So you have to be
Mm,
very active in your case. These family members have to be very active in their case to make sure what was done to me doesn't happen to them.
right. Now, this whole
Hmm.
time, I'm sure your kids are going through a lot, so you have to be there emotionally for your children as well. Did you
Hmm.
set them up in therapy earlier? How did you help them deal with their father's passing?
Well, unfortunately, at the time, you have to remember I'm in my early 30s. I'm unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
I have no
Mm-hmm.
insurance. I don't have a job yet, and there are no
Mm-hmm.
resources for families. So therefore, I did the
Mm-hmm.
best I could. I shielded them from people. I kind of, kept them in a small circle so they wouldn't hear what happened, so they wouldn't have to go through what I went through. But of course, people from the streets, they talk. As my children got older, they found out things, they heard things, and I couldn't protect them from that, unfortunately.
Right. So
I did the best I
You
could
are
with the
now,
resources I
yeah,
had.
of course, and that was even good. So the person you are now, what advice would you give to a family that has children going through this?
Well, my advice would be definitely to reach out to an organization and find family members like yourself, get support, find support for your children, because now we're trying to put things in place to where there are organizations that does that for children and for family members.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a mother or father and you receive support, then you're better equipped to handle your children
Mm-hmm.
versus what I did.
Right.
Hmm.
Also, I wanted to ask, how did, well, since you were young, what advice now, as a person you are now, would you give to yourself? Because I'm quite sure, did you not handle at first the grief properly? Like, were there outlets that you took that you probably shouldn't have, and now you will, like, how can
Absolutely.
you protect yourself and guide yourself through that kind of grief? What is some of your advice?
Well, the Anissa now will tell Anissa then um,
Mm,
to grieve, to actually
mm,
grieve. I never grieved because I had to
mm,
come out and I had to work and I had to make a life for me and my children. So I never had an opportunity to grieve. I just put it on the back
mm.
burner and did what I had to do to raise my children.
Hmm.
So I would
Right.
tell Anissa, take the time to grieve your loss because it is a loss
Hmm.
and it's okay. Whatever people are
Yeah.
going through, whatever people are saying, it doesn't matter. Grieve your husband because at the end of the day,
Hmm.
he is your husband and you have a right to grieve him in peace.
Yeah. Or how do you handle these televised murders now? And you hear about the children being in the back seat, or the like, how does that trigger you, or you know, kind of affect you emotionally when you do you even watch the videos? I can't even watch the videos personally. Anytime I
I
know
don't,
it's a
I
video
don't,
of
I'm
some,
not,
yeah,
I don't really watch the news anymore because it, like I said, it showcases the offenders and it doesn't tell the real backstory. They tell you what keeps you coming back to the news. And half the
okay,
time it's not true. So
mm-hmm,
I don't really watch the news like that. If there's a homicide or somebody either tells me or they refer people to me, or I just happen to find out because I don't watch the news because I try to
okay.
stay away from stuff like that. I'm surrounded by homicide, so I don't go looking for it.
Right.
It
Do
finds
you
me.
also stay away from like fake, like Law and Order and stuff like that? Like, does that also affect
No,
you?
I do watch true crime. Yeah, I watch true
Okay.
crime TV. I do. That's an old habit,
Okay.
hard to break. But I do watch true crime TV. It's interesting, you know.
Right, right,
Yeah.
But
right.
I don't really feed into the homicide pieces. I'm just looking like, yeah, this is TV because this ain't how it happens.
Hmm.
Hmm.
This is not reality. It's made for TV. When they say made for TV, it's exactly made for TV because people don't know the backstories to what these families go through. It's horrible. It's
Right,
devastating.
right,
So they
Right.
don't put that on TV.
Oh,
right,
of course not. Mm-mm,
right.
not at all.
So, when was the moment that that created that birth VASS?
Fast.
What happened?
Well, basically, I was going through something emotionally, and I wasn't
Yeah.
happy with the way life was going. I felt like something was missing. And at the time, my fiance, I was talking to him about it, and I was just unhappy. I was talking to Latisha about it, and just trying to figure out where I belong. What am I supposed to be doing? And then I was just at my part-time job, and I was like, you know what? I think us assisting people with homicide is going to do it. And when the idea came into play, it just seemed so natural, and it just came so easy, and it made me feel
Mm,
good. It made me feel complete. And then
mm,
I shot it to Latisha about what she felt. And she'd been in 100% since day one.
mm-hmm.
So I've got
So
a
was the
very strong team. Who cares?
Yeah. So let me ask you guys then, the process to even start a nonprofit, is it ridiculous? Because I've heard all kind of stories.
It's it's a
I
lot
know
of work.
watching Anissa, I'm
It's a lot
sorry,
of
babe,
work.
but watching her, she
Go ahead.
put in a lot of time,
Hmm.
time, time,
Right.
time, all her time.
Right. While
You know,
working.
yeah, while working. Yeah, she put in all her time. You got to
Hmm.
have compassion for what you want. And Anissa has compact. This is, her baby.
Right.
And I'm part of it, and I'm excited to be part of it. So when she even brought it to me, I'm like, yeah, I didn't suffer, a lot of people didn't suffer losses maybe from homicide, but I think I had just lost my grandmother when she started
Hmm.
doing this. And I was like, this is perfect. I could do
Yeah.
my healing right along with her, and so to go through it. I watched her go through just the emotions of it, the time of it, and a lot of time.
Yeah. Because you're redirecting that energy, that grief, into something more
Yes,
positive
absolutely.
and helping. I mean, they always say helping others, healing in itself.
It's very healing,
So,
very healing.
yeah. So tell me about the program that you guys have set up where you take these families on resort trips and
Oh,
to
yeah,
the mountains. I
yes,
was like,
yes.
this is
We have a
Yes,
incredible.
yearly
it
retreat.
is.
Yes, we have a yearly retreat, which unfortunately this year we didn't get to have it because of COVID. But
Yeah.
hopefully, Lord willing, next year we'll be able to pick it back up. We go to the mountains for 3 days. It's completely free of charge for families. You have to lot of a process, paperwork to go, get it notarized, and then once your paperwork is done, it'll go to Letitia, and it's approved. You're good. It's just that simple.
Mhm.
Doesn't cost
So
you
it
a
covers the
dime.
whole
Food,
family,
everything's
kids.
everything's taken care of. You have to,
Hmm.
but you have to make sure that you get your paperwork in time because slots go fast because it's free
Fast.
of
I'm
charge.
sure.
We don't charge
Right.
dime for any of our services
Right.
Yeah.
for nothing.
Hmm.
Everything's
Do
free.
you try to do different families each year as well to try to get as many
Um,
people
we,
through?
that was our first year doing it. This would have been our second year, and what we would
Okay.
do is we would give the new families opportunity to go first because they're new
Okay.
families. But in the case that
Mhm.
people are kind of lacking with getting applications in, those on standby will go because we're not going to hold anybody up from getting healing or working with new families or that kind of thing. We would definitely wouldn't hold that process up for anybody because it's there
Yeah.
for you.
Right.
And if you want the resource, if you want the services, get the paperwork in.
Mhm. And what I also
Right.
love too is that you guys had somebody's mama. I forgot. That's a therapist, and she's also there to like
Oh,
do
Jeff mom,
exercises with me. Just
Jeff's
mom.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
And
awesome. Oh,
Christina
I
Ray,
love.
she
Yeah.
She's
is
awesome.
absolutely
Yeah.
powerhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
She took time, and like I said, we don't pay her a dime to come out and help us. And she is absolutely awesome. And she was at the retreat for the 3 days, and she
Mhm.
facilitated, and she did.
Mhm.
It was just absolutely wonderful what she did for us, and I
Right.
couldn't thank her enough.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
getting a lot of community partners, allies that are coming in and are starting to help us now, and it's really picking up. People are starting to take us serious and see the need for our services now.
Right.
Mhm.
So, how did you pick your team, though?
I think my team
Because
kind of picked me.
we just talked about Miss Tina. I know, right? So
Yeah, I
I
think
just
my
want
team
to
kind
ask
of
that.
picked me. I don't think it was as much as me picking them. I think they picked me because
Mhm.
everyone knew kind of what I was looking at, and I told them, and they just all came on board. I didn't have to ask. They just came on, and
That's
we've
beautiful.
been doing our thing. Everybody gives 110%, and I could not be more grateful to all of them because
Yeah.
nobody gets
That,
paid to do what we do. They're all volunteers. They all spend their time, their effort, and I just really appreciate everybody for what they do for Vass. I really do appreciate it because
yeah.
nobody gets to do this.
And I want to talk about also you were traveling the country talking to first responders about how to
Hmm.
handle breaking the news to these
Hmm.
families. So what was that about? Because I do want you to touch on, because I actually had a discussion with this about this with someone who also deals kind of with this, and she was saying in their defense that they do become numb constantly seeing the murders and stuff like that. So when they're talking to the families, like she could understand how they can take the emotion out of it. But what is the training that you're giving these first responders? What are you telling them?
Well, what I do is I travel. I go to different conferences in states, and I work with the police officers, the court officials, the ADAs, DAs on homicide after the loss because they get to see what happens up to the homicide, but they don't get to see what happens after the homicide.
Mm,
That's where the emotion comes in. The families potentially become homeless. The families potentially, a lot of different things happen after a loss, that they don't get to see. So when families
right.
come in, they're angry, they're upset, they don't understand why this is happening. So when I come in, I teach them this is what happens after a loss. This is what you look for after a loss. This is how you handle it. So if I
Mhm.
come in, I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm yelling and screaming at my ADA because she's not answering my phone calls, problem's easy. Answer the calls.
Right.
Then I won't have a reason to be angry with you or to feel like my loved one doesn't matter because you've been blowing me off for 4 months.
Right.
Mm.
Now, what is
And
the
I teach them
ADA for
that
people who don't know?
those are the assistant district attorneys.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the
Okay.
district attorney is the main person. The ADAs are the ones that work underneath them. And
Okay.
so they're the ones that primarily work with the family members. So when the family members are calling you on a constant and you're so busy that you can't return a call, and that's what you tell the family members, they're not trying to hear that. So you're basically
Yeah.
telling you my loved one doesn't matter to you because you're busy. That's not an
Right.
excuse. That's your job to answer the calls.
Right. And what has the response
Hmm.
been from them after you talk to them?
Well, a lot of them don't realize that they're doing it because oh, we're so busy. Busy is not an
Yeah.
excuse. This is your job.
Mhm.
You know, the DA is a higher is an elected official. Your job is to take care of these families, and by you not taking care of the families, that means you're not doing your job.
Right.
So I, just come in with the fine points of things that they should be doing that are being ignored, and you wonder why the
Mhm.
families are angry. You fix this
Right.
problem, then you'll have family members that are willing to come to court, they're willing to work with you and hear you out versus being angry and shutting down.
Yeah. Now, for
Mhm.
you both, since you've started this nonprofit, are you starting to see more resources now?
Just Vass.
No.
Just Vass.
Just us, but we are starting to see a lot of community allies. Now, we are
Okay.
starting to see a lot of people step up and they want to come in and support us because
Uh
they don't know
huh.
how to support the homicide community. So they're willing to work under our umbrella and assist us in supporting the homicide families. And I think that is absolutely awesome. It's a
Yeah,
start.
that is awesome. And
Hmm.
this organization's been happening for how long now?
3 years now. Been doing this for 3 years.
3 years. Are you guys looking to um, so this is where learning government and becomes important. So you hear how these people have like get bills passed and stuff like that. Like, have you guys talked about doing anything like that on that end to try to help these families and families like yours?
Well, we're not so much in the political part versus the healing part. So we're more into
Got
healing.
you.
When it's political
Okay.
part, when you step in a ring of political, it gets very nasty and very messy. And so we just want to
Really?
assist families on grieving and making life better for them. We don't want to do political because when you do political in a nonprofit, it gets real messy, and we don't want that.
Yeah. And you probably need a lot of money too, I'm guessing.
Right, right. So right
Hmm.
now we're self funded. And so we're putting things into play to where we're planning a conference for hopefully 2022, and it'll be a
Hmm.
conference for victim service providers. They can come out, they can get trainings, they can meet family members of a homicide, and they can learn over the week a 2-day weekend about how to better serve their clientele. So we're
Yeah.
working on that for 2022 in for Charlotte.
Right.
Yeah.
We just had a balloon release. We did
Hmm.
that. So that was
Yeah.
very awesome. So,
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
sorry I got to miss that. But so let's talk about ways to help y'all. So you had the fundraiser, which I was a part of, the
Mm-hmm.
second one. So tell me about the
Yes, and we
fundraiser.
appreciate you. And what we're doing right now is we're going to be working on Project Santa Claus for the children for Christmas. And if anyone wants to come out and support any family members, that's fine. If they want to just purchase the toys, we are absolutely great with that. They don't have to give a cash donation. It could be a toy donation, and we are great with that. So
Yeah.
I have to get with my team in the next week or so, and we'll have the families together to where if anybody wants to support a family, then they can contact Latisha or myself or any of the team members, and we'll have the names hopefully within the next week or so, and we'll be able to share that information with public.
And they're able to contact you guys through your website?
Absolutely, any of us.
Yes.
Okay.
If the links start working and they want to contact Latisha or whoever, they can send it directly to the website. I'll get the email and I will forward it to Latisha or whoever the team members are trying to contact. They can definitely reach any of us. Yes.
Okay. And you guys will also accept if somebody just wants to plain out give you money.
Of course.
Yes.
Any type of donation is works for us. But like I said, if
Mhm.
they want to just see to the need, we are absolutely 100% open to
100%.
that.
Oh, yeah.
See to the
Yes.
need gets taken care of. That's what it's all about, is taking care of the needs. So
Right.
if they want to just adopt a child, buy the toys, we are great with that. That is absolutely awesome.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I did that. And that was like super easy. I went on Prime,
Oh
ordered
God, that
something
was,
for some kids and sent it
and we
over to
appreciate
Anissa.
that.
So
And that
it's
was so easy, just to
simple.
buy the
Yeah, it
toy
is.
and send it in. And then we
Mhm.
make sure that the families receive their toys. And they're so grateful. And we are so grateful for you, Capri, for assisting us and being an ally to Vass. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that happening. So you guys are not gonna have another fundraiser, you think, till 2022?
Well, no, we're working on some things. Me and my team,
Okay.
we're you know, 'cause with COVID going on and a lot of things going on, so we're just working on putting some plans together and just doing what we can do for our families. I mean, 'cause we're kind of limited right now, but we're
Yeah.
doing as much as we can with what we have right now.
Yeah. I think with all this, it definitely does make you more creative, think of more
Oh, it
creative
does.
ways.
It
Like I
Right.
definitely
like
does.
the you were tossing me the idea of doing the color smoke next
Yeah.
time. I thought that would look
Yeah,
real
we
good.
will
That's
be
gonna be
doing
real
that
cool.
hopefully in October. Me and my team, we're kind of wrapping up the preparations for that. We will have a color bombs for the Vast team. We'll have a little program again, like we did with the balloon release. And
Hmm.
as soon as we get it all planned out within the next couple of days, I'll post it on my page. Tisha have it on her page where people can come out and they can ask questions and they can come out and join us and just
Hmm.
support us or come out and just have remembrance of their loved ones that they lost. Everybody's
Yeah.
welcome. We have no strangers when it comes to Bass. You're welcome with open arms. You're
Yeah.
Mhm.
always going to see it with a
And
smile.
I like
Always.
too, like the fundraiser, you guys even highlighted just families of veterans who, who have passed from war. It doesn't even have, that is murder too, but in my opinion, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the kind of homicide that your family went
No,
through.
no, no. It can be a
Yeah,
homicide. At the end of the day, is a homicide. Whether it
right.
be vehicle, gun, knife, whatever. At the end
Mhm.
of the day, someone passed away. So it's not that serious for us to figure like, oh, you're this kind of homicide, you're that kind of homicide. It's not like that. As long as you
Mhm.
suffer a loss and you want to be part of VASH, you are more than welcome. And we still have other people who are grieving other types of grief, and we don't close the door to anybody.
Mhm.
Right.
If people want to heal and they're grieving, we don't shut the door to anyone. We are open to
Yeah.
assist anyone who's going through a process of grief.
Right. And
Mhm.
also, I wanted you to talk about because I feel that a lot of people they don't really know how to address friends who are in this situation. Like, is it okay for people to bring him up? Like, how do people approach? How should people approach families? Like even with your sons,
Mhm.
like I know his birthday just came up. Like, is it meaningful to you for somebody to be like, oh, I know today is his birthday? That kind of stuff is helpful or
Yes.
appreciate it.
The thing about it is, if someone remembers his birthday, it means a lot to me because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, families just want their loved ones to be acknowledged.
Thank you.
And when you acknowledge my loved
Yes.
one, you're acknowledging me and my loss. That's the
Yes.
important part. It's
Yes.
not, oh, I'm sorry, or whispering. It's like, you know what? I know it's his birthday, Anissa, and I just want to let I'm here for you.
Yes.
Tisha and like my team, it's no wrong way of doing that.
Hmm.
By you acknowledging him, you're acknowledging my loss. And
Right.
that's what it's about, is making
Yes.
your loved ones relevant. They're important.
Yes.
Because that loss was important to me and to my children. When people like Latisha acknowledge that, they're acknowledging me. I'm
Yes.
important to them. So
Hmm.
it's okay to acknowledge that loss. It's okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, and I tell people like they want to feel uncomfortable, but it's like, okay, but you're dealing with uncomfort, but this person's actually dealing with actual loss.
Yeah.
So
I'm not the one
really,
that's
you're a
uncomfortable. You are.
comfort.
I'm not uncomfortable.
Right,
You're the one that's making this weird, not me.
right.
So
And it shouldn't
that's the only
be.
thing. That's the only thing about it is by you being uncomfortable, it's making me uncomfortable. So now you're making it weird.
That's
You see,
true.
versus you just
Yeah.
coming and saying, Anissa, I know this is happening. I'm here for you, and I want to acknowledge your loss. That's all you have to
Hmm.
say. It's not uncomfortable. By you getting weirded out, acting strange, that's making me
Right.
feel weird.
Right. Because I've
And
seen
that's
Like
that
there's
all.
something
interaction
wrong.
happen.
Yeah, like there's something wrong with grieving.
Right.
And you
Right.
shouldn't have to feel like there's something wrong with grieving.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I always say there's no time limit. There's
Absolutely.
no
Right.
time limit. It could be 1 year, you might be okay. It might be 20 years. It might
Yes.
take you that long. And there is
Mhm.
no time limit on grieving. So no one should feel like, well, my partner or my son or my daughter passed away 3, 5 years ago and I'm still grieving. It's okay. It's
It's
Hmm.
okay.
okay.
There's no time limit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm realizing now as like I'm doing my own personal evolved learning about like higher consciousness and stuff like that. You're actually
Mhm.
supposed to identify with those feelings. You're actually
Mhm.
supposed to be conscious of those feelings. That's the only way to heal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's actually not good to tip around, tiptoe and ignore and push down. You got to deal with that
Yeah.
in
A lot of
order
people
to heal.
medicate. They self-medicate to avoid feeling anything. And it happens at
Hmm.
night.
Exactly.
People have no support. They do drugs. They commit suicide. It's a
Hmm.
lot of things happen after the lights go down because
Yeah.
the grief is so bad at night. In the daytime, I don't need you. I'm good. I'm at
Hmm.
work, around me, I'm busy. But at nighttime, it's when the lights go down and that reality comes into place. That's
Yeah.
when
Right.
you're needed.
Because that's
2
like a
o'clock,
one on
3
one.
o'clock.
That's like a one
Hmm.
on one. You
Yes,
Right.
and them.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have you guys from the families that come to you? What is like the most common issue that they are dealing with?
The support piece. Nobody understands. They lose friends, they lose family.
Wow.
And we call them our extended family, our vast family.
Right.
You have now
Yeah.
got a whole new family of supporters who understand. So when you hear me say my extended family, I'm talking about my vast
A
family.
vast.
Right.
And we treat them like they are our family because at this point, you lose so many people, but look what you just gained.
Yeah.
So those
How
who
are they
leave,
losing family and friends if they
it
suffered a
happens a lot.
loss?
Yeah, because some
People,
people give up. They
yeah.
figure again, like I just mentioned about the time frame of healing,
Hmm.
Right.
and some people figure, well, it was a year ago, so
Yeah, get
there's
over
nothing
it.
else I could do for you.
Move
It's
on.
nothing else I can do
Move
for
on.
you.
Right. Right.
I'm tired of hearing
So
this.
you lose that, and
Wow.
it's like, okay, well, it's nothing I could do for her. I'm going here, I'm
Yes,
going here.
Hmm.
So you lose family
absolutely.
members like that. Mm.
Absolutely. That's what they do.
Wow.
They're like, well, you know
That's
what? It's been 15 years. Why aren't you over it? I'm sick of hearing
right.
about this. Like, I'm done with it. I can't help her. So
Hmm.
then you meet people like Latisha, Jeff, and the rest of the team. They understand I'm still grieving. If you have someone in your heart and they're no longer here, that doesn't go away. They're
Yeah.
always going to be a part of your heart.
Hmm.
So a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years is not going to make you love them any less because they're not here in the physical. You're
Right.
able to love your loved ones because they're here. Why are we not allowed to love ours because they're no longer here?
Right. And
So
that's the
those are the things
takeaway.
I have to clarify. Do not ever feel guilty for grieving because the first thing
Hmm.
people say is, "Oh my God, I'm sorry for crying." You should never feel sorry for grieving your loss because the love
Right.
is still here.
Right.
The last act of love is grief because that's the only way we have to show that we love is by grieving. So never
Yeah.
apologize for your grief.
Yeah.
Never.
That's a that's beautiful. Well, you got a lot of love in these comments. People saying that they love what you're doing, and
Tell them just check us out.
yes.
We're here. We love what we do. We love our family. My team is
Hmm.
spot on. They're an awesome set of people. Go on the website, look at everybody. These are people that showed me love. When I wasn't
Yeah.
getting love, these are the ones that stepped up for me.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
and
I am surrounded by support at this point in my life, and I am in a good place. I'm in a great place in life.
I'm happy to hear that.
I'm in a great
And
place.
I'm so happy too that you guys are raising because when you told me, and it did hit home, and I was like, you know what? You don't think about the victims' families.
No, you don't.
Everyone's so focused on the murders. I didn't
Right.
even know that there was like absolutely no resources for you guys out
There's none.
here,
There's
and
none.
that's disturbing, and that's something that needs to change.
Well,
Or
and
y'all
that's
need
why
to call y'all congressmen and politicians
and that's why we
and
raise awareness.
councilmen.
That's why we have the awareness events. So those who no longer know about it, they're starting to find out because they're coming out to the awareness events. I'm like, wow, I didn't know. So that's why we
Hmm.
raise awareness so people will understand our process, understand the services that need to be out here, understand these children need services, understand mom needs services, dad needs services in order to be better parents.
Hmm.
Because if I would have had the support that I have now, things would have gone a lot better for my children. Because now my children look at homicide like it's just it happens, and I really feel horrible that that's their normal. It happens.
Hmm.
I mean that's horrible. Nobody should
Yeah,
feel like homicide is normal. It's not normal to take a life. That ain't
right.
normal.
And your children are involved with your nonprofit too, which I think is pretty dope.
My kids, they haven't been to any of the programs yet because they're up north. But my
Hmm.
children are going to make a surprise appearance. I'm not going to tell anybody. When they're in house,
Okay.
y'all will know.
Well,
My
your
boys,
son was at the fundraiser, the one he modeled for
yeah,
me.
yeah, my son, yeah, Damon is always everywhere.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Damon shows up for everything. He's very supportive, and
Yeah.
like I said, we just
That's the
want.
baby.
That's my baby. That's my baby. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very he loves Vass. And
Uh-huh.
like I said, we just want everyone to come out, support us, learn about these families. And, if there's people that want training, I'm willing to train you. If you want to be an
Hmm.
ally, or if you feel like this is something you might want to look into doing as far as a career or something, you need to know how to do it the right way. You got to do
Okay.
it the right way. In order to be an ally or to be an advocate, you can't just come in and be like, oh, I'm going to be an advocate. You
Right.
need to be trained because these families are delicate and they
Yes.
don't trust you because the system is failing us daily.
Right. So you guys also set up the training
I
or
will do a training if I have enough people that want to get trained. Latisha and I will put something together with my aunt Sue, and we will put a training together, and I'll train you.
oh
It won't
wow.
go as far as what I do, but I can train you with the basic fundamentals. So if you do have a family member or a friend, and this happens, you will know what to do and be comfortable doing it. And we make
Mm.
trainings fun. Trainings are dope. They're fun. They're really fun.
Yeah, these are the fun purchase. I
Yeah,
guess.
I'm going to make sure that you get trained well, but you
Yes.
don't feel some kind of way like, oh my God, I don't know anything, so I'm going to be scared to speak up because I want to look stupid. No, I need
Yeah.
you to speak up. I need you to ask me questions while I'm here. So when that situation happens, unfortunately, you will be in a situation that you know how to handle it.
Mhm.
I need
Yeah,
you to
and
be comfortable in
yeah.
any situation dealing with a family member homicide because you make it uncomfortable for us. We don't make it
Mhm.
uncomfortable for you,
Mhm.
and that's not fair.
Right. And also too, I think that's probably the biggest hurdle is people don't know what to say.
Right.
They don't know what to say, and you don't want to say the wrong. And really, I mean, you because too you deal with people have different ideas, I guess,
Mhm.
about what happened to their loved one in death,
Mhm.
like they might not even believe that their loved one's going to go to heaven, or
Mhm.
so you have this in your profession with you guys, you stay away from those kind of sentiments.
Well, basically, when people are talking about their loved ones, my
Hmm.
advice, just listen. You don't have to come up with these nice little slogans, these sayings. Oh, heaven's gaining of an angel. You're going to get punched in
Right.
the throat. Please don't say that.
True.
please, please don't say that. Or in
Yes.
my case, when my husband died, people was like, "Oh, you're young. You got plenty of time to get married again."
Oh
That's something you say
wow.
to people. You don't
Yeah.
always have to have an answer. I'm not going to remember what you say, but I will remember your presence.
Mm.
Thank
Do
you.
not say a word. Just be
Yes.
there and be strong. That's all you got to do. You don't have to say nothing.
Yes.
If whatever you tell me, I'm not going to remember it anyway.
Yes.
But I
That
will
is so
remember you being
true.
there. I will remember you
Yeah.
being there. So
Yeah.
that's what I tell people. You don't always have to come up with something intelligent to say because half the time it's not going to be intelligent.
Yeah.
So don't say
And I identify because I've never lost anyone in a homicide, but I just felt what you just said just by losing babies. Like it's the same thing.
it.
Like I don't want to hear, oh, God took had needed another angel. Why he need
Yeah.
mine? Like
Yeah, why mine? Like, what do
that
you
just
mean?
makes
What are you
me
saying?
irritated.
Yeah, just stop saying that to
Right.
me. And once
Right.
you hear it
Right.
once, you've heard it twice, you've heard it again and again, and now I'm angry. The next person that says, I'm gonna punch him in the throat. The next person that tells me that, I'm gonna hit you. And that's what
Right.
they think. And you wonder why they're so angry. Imagine how many times
Right.
you've heard that. You've heard that.
Right.
It makes you angry.
Yeah, and it's true. You remember the people who were just there. You don't remember what they
You
said,
don't
but you
remember what they
definitely
said, but
remember.
I remember your presence. And
Right.
another thing that we love to teach is when a family member comes, please don't hug them.
Mm.
Don't hug them because
Yeah,
I
they
do
don't
not.
know you.
Letitia, I'm gonna let Letitia speak on that. Go ahead, Tish. I'm gonna let you have it.
Why is he making that face?
Because I mean,
You
but
a
my
hugger?
thing is, I am,
Uh
but my
huh.
thing is, I would ask,
Okay.
is it
Yeah.
okay if I hug you? Because then again,
Mhm.
some people might want that embrace. You never know.
Right.
So, like Anissa
Yeah.
said, don't just automatically do it, but I will
Mhm.
ask because I know a great friend of mine doesn't like hugs at all. And I have to send virtual hugs or I have to sneak and grab and give a hug. And just because, and
Yeah.
I know she doesn't like it, but that's
Mhm.
different. I'll just grab her, hug her, and be like, but when it
Right.
comes to this serious piece right here, you know, I would ask if you feel
Definitely.
necessary to want to hug them. Just
Mhm.
ask. Just say, "Is it okay?" Because they might just say, "No, I'm okay." And if they
Yeah.
did that, then if you did it ahead of time without asking them, then they're gonna feel some kind of way. Like you said, I don't know you. You
Right.
putting I don't. Just some people
What
don't
kind of
like you
Right.
energy are
touching them
you
because they
bringing?
think you might be what is it, transferring things, spirits and things.
Yes, bad energy.
So
Bad
Mm.
energy.
you
Yes.
Right.
right. So it's just really good to
Or not even that.
possibly
They don't even know what
ask.
you about yet. They don't know what you can do for them, what you there for.
And you
They're
should
like,
never ever go up and just hug people because again, I'm not a hugger.
yeah.
Hmm.
I'm
See, I'm
offended
a
that
hugger. I'm like your
you
friend.
have now crossed my personal boundaries. These are my boundaries. And remember,
Yeah.
I've just suffered a loss and you're crossing my personal boundaries now.
Right.
I
Mm.
feel some kind of way because you didn't ask my permission to cross my boundaries. So
Right.
you
Right.
asked me, is it okay if I hug you? So if I'm like, no, I'm okay, then your feelings aren't hurt and I'm not angry that you crossed my boundaries. So it saves
Right.
us both an opportunity not to be in an uncomfortable situation. So I tell people,
Mm-hmm.
first thing I teach them is always ask, is it okay if I hug you? Is it okay if I touch you? Because people are into energy transfers and I don't know what you're coming with. I've already got a lot
Right.
of bad stuff going on. So please
Mm-hmm.
ask permission first.
Yeah. And that's so
Yes,
simple.
yes. Pretty simple.
Especially if it's a guy, like you definitely gotta ask permission.
Gotta ask. Gotta ask. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we are at our time limit. Latisha is in and out. But tell her when you talk to her. I do appreciate I'll probably actually friend her after
Okay.
this. She's an
Awesome.
incredible woman. And I
She
really
is.
loved her.
She's my buddy. That's my friend.
And I really appreciate you guys doing this with me today.
Thank you.
And vassnc.org. I would definitely let everyone know when you guys do the Christmas giving for
Yes,
the
it should be the
children.
next. We should have every names hopefully within the next week. If anybody
Okay.
wants to become an ally, just contact us. Or like I said, just see to the need. It doesn't have to be about monies. Just see to the need for the children.
Hmm.
And we are absolutely grateful and thankful for anything that they do for our children. We appreciate any help that people want to step up and be an ally to Vass.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Everyone,
you.
like, comment, subscribe to N-Dowd. Oh, here comes Latisha. She coming back. She coming
Turn her
back.
down.
There she is.
I'm sorry.
Precious.
You're fine. So we were just saying our goodbyes. I just wanted to thank you so much for doing this with us.
Oh, of course,
And
anything, anytime.
yeah, and we're definitely gonna link up personally because I was telling her I love your energy. I love that you. She was like, my friend gonna be right there with me
Hmm.
through
Yep,
this. So
yep,
I
yep.
appreciate that.
And she used to call me. I'm her muscle. It's
That's
okay.
my muscle right there.
We
My right
need
hand
that.
man right there. That's my muscle.
Yeah,
She my
yeah,
husband.
but
You
good to
just
meet you too. Good to meet you too. And
yeah.
yeah, so
And-
we'll be meeting up with each other because from far, from here on, I'll be making everything else. I just couldn't
Hmm.
make it to the fashion show last one, but
And one
everything
more thing,
else I'm
Capri, real
always
quick,
involved in.
was
mhm.
I wanted to show my earrings that was made for us. Some other earrings, y'all.
Oh,
I can't.
nice.
Yes, one of my family
Mhm.
members, she had the earrings made for me, and I really appreciate everything. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate you. And we'll have
Mhm.
our tumbler cups, our bags, and our stuff on the website in the next couple of days. So anyone
Ooh.
that wants to, come out and buy some Vass products, we'll have our hoodies. So within the next,
Yes.
we'll have,
T-shirts.
oh yes, our shirt,
Oh.
our shirt, yes, our
I
shirt.
love that because
Hmm.
definitely people will see that and ask questions and yeah, that's dope. I'm
Hmm.
glad you are branded because when I talked to these, I was like, where's your Instagram? Where's your
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Hmm.
I'm all about the
Right.
social media. I know.
We are working on
So
this
I'm
thing.
glad. Yeah, because this platform definitely needs to be pushed out there. It's definitely needed. And
Yeah.
awareness is a must.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's a must.
Yes. But thank you,
Absolutely.
ladies.
All
Thank
right.
That
you,
was
You're
Capri. We
welcome.
appreciate you.
welcome.
All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.
Bye.